So please welcome Academy Award-winning Marion Cotillard.
Hello.
So, of course, people have not yet had a chance to see 2 Days, One Night. They'll see it later today. So maybe we can start just by talking a little bit about the character that you play in this film and how the Dardenne brothers came into your life.
I did a movie called Rust and Bone by Jean-Pierre Cotillard, and they were co-producing this movie. So the first time we met, it was very brief. It was like a 3 minutes encounter in front of elevators. And I was very impressed. I'm a huge admirer, and I have more than a lot of respect for their work and for them now as human beings. And then I think it was kind of a year later, they asked me to be part of a project, which surprised me a lot because they're not used to work with actors like actors with like a kind of a different experience. I wouldn't say a lot, but
Well, let's just
I've
cut to the
traveled
chase.
into,
Movie stars, they don't work with movie stars.
No, I wouldn't say that either. But no, but I've traveled in a lot of worlds before their world, and so I was very surprised and both surprised and very excited. I mean, more than that, even more than that. I've seen all their movies and I love them all, which is something. And now my character, well, she's a woman. She has 2 kids. She's a simple woman, a simple and very complex at the same time. She just recovered from a very deep depression, and she's fragile, and she's gonna discover things that she didn't expect. Something that she didn't expect to be, not just a weak person, much more than that, without saying too much.
Well, and one of the things that's interesting about the film is you mentioned the character Sandra as she's recovering from a depression, but we never really find out too much detail about that. It's just sort of something that informs the character. So as an actress, how much work did you have to do sort of on the character beyond what was there in the script in order to become the character?
Well, I needed a lot of stories. So this project allowed me to be very creative in a way, and it called my imagination to give a lot of stuff. Because, we don't really know what happened before, and I needed to know. I needed to know how her depression affected her family life, her kids, her husband, the people she loves. I needed to know where she comes from. I needed to create her family. I needed to create her parents. I needed to create even like siblings, or I won't go too far into what I found to feed me for the shooting and to reach the emotions that I needed to reach. But that was a wonderful part of the preparation. I had done it 1 or 2 times before because I needed to have a background that I didn't have with the script.
Right.
And it was, so I wrote very dramatic scenes to help me get to certain emotions, and especially that they wanted to do only sequence shots.
Right.
So sometimes it's very long, like sometimes a 10 minutes shot, and because she's kind of, even if she has recovered from this depression, she goes back there pretty quickly because she's very fragile. and sometimes I needed to find the way to burst in tears in the middle of a conversation when there's nothing in the conversation that will lead you to have an emotion. So I needed to open the suitcases of dramatic stories that I had written, and that even the brothers are not aware of. Yeah, I needed this material to understand her, first of all, and to help me get with her in dark places.
Now, you mentioned that the brothers are not have not typically worked with well-known stars in their films. They also have their own very particular methods of making a film. And can you talk a little bit about sort of entering into their process and the rehearsal process and then actually what the shooting of the film was like compared to other films that you've worked on?
Well, they organize everything for them, the crew and the actors, of course, to have time to explore, which is really amazing. I've done very low budget movies, which doesn't allow you to have time to rehearse or even to have time to shoot the way the director wants to shoot. I mean, the director has a vision and then he has the money and it doesn't fit, so he has to reinvent his vision of the story because of no time, no money and no time. They shoot every 3 years, and they organize everything for the creativity to have like kind of a comfortable is not a word that I like to use when it comes to shooting and to telling a story, because that's not the comfort that you look for, but the comfort of time really allows you to explore and to go to the deepest, to go very deep. And we had a month of rehearsals, which is really amazing. And it was really, sometimes you can have a month of preparation. For example, I remember with Michael Mann, I had 4 months of preparation because I needed to speak English properly without a French accent, which I tried everything, but well. And with the brothers, it was really rehearsals like a theater rehearsal. It was more about the technical aspect of it. Because it was sequence shots, we needed to find the choreography of the camera and the actors. So of course it's technical, but it's always also the energy that you give and that you will give the day of the shooting that will also create this choreography. But we didn't focus on acting. So then when you're on set, because you know what you're going to do, even if sometimes it can slightly change, it's not like written in stone and you cannot move anything, it's still alive, But then they focus and we focus on the acting, and it's a real luxury. And then I can go on and
well, I was going to say after all that rehearsing for a month, then you must just go on the set, and it's very easy. You get it all in one take and move on to the next scene.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's what you think. But on day 2, we did 56 takes. On day 4, it was 82, and then on and on. No, because the thing is, usually when you think, oh my God, you do so many takes, the director or the directors must be like crazy or
sadomasochistic.
No, because sometimes it happens that you have some directors who wants to get something out of you, and he gonna go on and on with many takes. With the Dardenne brothers, I always knew that doing another take was for a reason. I was never like, why would we do so many takes when I'm sure they have already what they need? There was a very strong connection between the brothers and me, and even sometimes we would have done like already 70 takes and I would ask for more, which was, but because we were in a process, first of all, yeah, as I told you before, it was sequence shots. Right. So you have a 10-minute scene, it has to be perfect from, the 10
no
minutes.
Cutting, yeah.
No, because you cannot edit. So if like 9 minutes goes well, even 9 minutes and a half, and the 30 last seconds something goes wrong, you need to do it again. And I trust them I trust them 1,000%. So if they would have asked me 200 takes, I would have done it, because I knew there was a reason behind this amount of takes. And that was one of my best experiences as an actress. They really offered me everything that I had always wanted in terms of relationship with directors. And today, when I talk about the amount of takes, I'm like, oh wow, yeah, this is a lot. But on set, it was never overwhelming. It was never exhausting. It was just the process of getting what they wanted to have, and for me, giving them exactly what they wanted to have.
One of the other really interesting things about the film is that it's sort of a series of scenes that are variations on each other, because you're going through the film, meeting with your colleagues and trying to get your job back, basically. And each time you meet someone, you're having to ask them the same. You're kind of having to make the same appeal, but in a slightly different way. Can you talk about the challenge of that? Is that also something that was sort of part of the preparation to figure out what Sandra's relationships were with all of these different people and how she would approach them?
Well, when I first read the script, I was a little scared. And but at the same time, I was very excited, because it would be a new experience for me. Yeah, she goes to see, I don't remember, it's like around 10, 12 co-workers, and she basically says the same thing, but not exactly. And when I read the script the second time and the third time, I detected all the slight differences, and I built something with those slight differences, because it tells, the way you talk, the way you use words tells a lot about your journey, who you are, first of all, the way you use words, and if you're going to be a little more confident, or if you're going to lose confidence. Everything was written in the energy of what she has to say.
Can you go? Is it possible to go too deeply into a role? Because I know you like to have a lot of time to prepare, and you told me that you wished you'd had a year to learn Polish for The Immigrant, another film that many people may have seen you in this year. Although your Polish is so good in the movie that one of
Are you Polish?
No, but I know that
thank you very much.
your Polish co-star said that your Polish was so good you were actually
but she was my teacher too.
Well, nevertheless, to get back to that question, because of course when you played Edith Piaf, it was so uncanny. It was like some kind of, almost like the spirit of Edith Piaf had possessed your every physical movement in the film. Can you, when you go that deeply into a role, can it be difficult to get out of it when the movie is over?
For Piaf, it was kind of difficult, because it was the first time I went that deep, and I immersed myself entirely for months into somebody else's body or spirit. But I've learned a lot trying to get back to my life after La Vie en Rose. So now I know that I need a process to come back to my life. And this process is as interesting as getting into someone. And now it's part of how I work. I know that it's not that easy to just go back to your life, and you need to do like not a detox, but kind of a cleaning thing.
Now, you grew up in a family of working actors. Did that? Was it an obvious thing for you because you grew up around it, or did you think this is a tough life? If you're going from gig to gig. I'm not sure I want to do this. Well, how did you sort of find your way to it?
Well, that was a mix of all this. Yeah. I think I always wanted to be an actress. That's a fact. Like my brothers were raised with. When we were in the same family. Yeah. That's a stupid sentence. Well, sometimes no, it doesn't happen. But they're not actors,
right?
So I think I don't know where it comes from, but it comes from. I don't know. It's the way it is. I questioned this desire when I was around 23, because that was not easy. It's not an easy job to get in. Yeah. But then when I realized that was really what I was here for, I just had to accept it and try to do my best doing this.
And what about the celebrity factor? Because obviously you've now achieved that certain level where you're looking at yourself on magazine covers all the time, and people are coming up to you in the street. It's inevitable. They're there. Were you? How difficult was that? Was after Taxi, which was sort of the thing that really put you onto that next level? Were you prepared for it, or was it hard?
Well, I don't think you're prepared for this very weird thing, actually. Even if you're born in like a very famous family and your picture has been taken for years, from day one to, I don't know if you're really prepared for this. But at the same time, it's, I think when you're an actor, you kind of looking for a connection with a lot of people you might never meet, but you want to tell a story, and you want this story to touch many people, and it's a kind of connection. So this is it's kind of hard to talk about celebrity, actually. But when I started and after Taxi, when people would recognize me in the street, it was so weird that I didn't know how to take it. So I would either run away or be that was super weird. I'm not very proud of it. But that was the way it was. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to do. And I'm a very sensitive person, and sometimes it would be too much. Now I'm kind of used to it. And it's just a different connection to people. And I like it.
Now, Sandra is a very sympathetic character in this movie, but you have quite often now played what we might call femme fatale or dangerous women, twice for Christopher Nolan in Inception and The Dark Knight Rises. You have coming out soon Macbeth, where you play Lady Macbeth, which you told me was a role you always knew you would play eventually, which I think is interesting. Do you have an attraction to that dark side, to playing these kind of film noir or femme fatale roles?
Unfortunately. Yeah, I when they offered me the role of Macbeth, of Lady Macbeth, I said yes right away without my brain being involved in this decision. And then I started to think, and I was like, oh wow, yeah, here you go again, drama, drama, drama. Okay, I must be attracted to darkness, for sure. But sometimes I'm having very sane, not schizophrenic conversation with myself, but still conversation with myself, thinking, when are you going to stop living life of people who are so fucked up? And I have no answer. I'm just waiting for sun and light. It'll come.
Talk a little bit about, your career post La Vie en Rose and sort of splitting your time between doing big Hollywood movies and smaller movies, both in France and elsewhere, smaller American movies like The Immigrant. Is there a strategy? Is there what guides you sort of from role to role? Do you think in terms of I want to do a certain number of big audience movies for this reason, or I want to do some smaller films for my personal passions? What is guiding you from project to project?
It's kind of very simple. I read scripts. I meet with people, and when I feel that my place is in this adventure, that's where I go. And it's definitely not the other person inside of myself taking the decision and thinking of a strategy of,
right.
But no, I don't have any strategy or... I feel very lucky that I have amazing offers from amazing directors and with amazing projects. But it's step by step. Usually, there's something that I've noticed many years ago, is that when I feel a strong need to express something. Usually there's a movie that comes with a character that will allow me to express this thing. It can be a simple thing or a complex thing, but I remember when I was shooting the first movie that I did in America was Tim Burton's movie. Big Fish. And I was thinking about what I wanted to do after, and I thought that I needed to express a certain form of anger. And then 3 days later, I had the Jean-Pierre script with this
very long engagement.
A very long engagement, and that was exactly what I needed at that time.
Another dangerous woman, but sympathetic.
Yeah, yeah, she's super cool. So I never know which way it's gonna take. Nothing is planned, but I just feel very lucky that it comes.
I'm going to turn it over now and take some questions from the audience, and I'll just ask if people wait for the microphone to come around so we can get the sound on the recording of this. But let's have a show of hands we'll start with this gentleman on the aisle here.
I have a question. I just wanted to see her turn around.
You know what? That was I was thinking about that actually. That I was really like, sorry. Let's open.
All right. Now that we've changed our orientation.
Yeah.
in the room. Questions for Marion Cotillard? Oh, yes. Standing there, behind, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you ever wish to become a director yourself? Whether low budget or bringing in up-and-coming actresses and actors or working with really famous stars like yourself one day?
I've always wanted to work with actors, actresses especially, French actresses. We have a lot of amazing French actresses, and I've always had stories that I really wanted to tell. So I'm getting there, I think. I know that it's really hard to direct a movie because I share my life with the director, and I know what it takes. And but yeah, there's something that is growing inside of me. I might.
Other questions? Yes, we'll go here and down in the front. Yeah.
Hi. Okay, I'm shaking right here. I came from Philadelphia for this, so I'm very excited. And you've mentioned before that you wanted to do comedy, so why is this attraction with comedy for you?
Fresh air. No kidding. No, not kidding. Actually, but because it's super far from my comfort zone, even if drama is not that comfortable. Because it would be a big risk for me, because I don't know if I am able to be good in a comedy. I love watching comedies. So yeah, I've always been attracted to do comedy. I'm a little scared because I don't know what it would be. I would have a lot of work, I guess. I know. So yeah, I wish I will.
Well, maybe you can say something about your brief but memorable appearance in Anchorman 2 last year, which you were very funny in.
I mean, all those guys are my idols. So that was kind of crazy for me. When they asked me, I didn't even read anything. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be there. I mean, being on a set with Will Ferrell was kind of my dream. And I freaked out, totally. I mean, and that we were in that huge field, and Adam McKay was like super far away, giving me lines, like new lines over this megaphone. I could barely understand what he was saying. Can I say that I was hangover? Yeah, I do. Because that was the Med Bowl the night before. So, I mean, it was part of me being in a disastrous state, and at the same time having a lot of fun. I mean, that for me that was amazing to be there, but I was really scared that I would be super, super bad in terms of like awkward. And but in the end, I have seen the movie not a long time ago, and that was okay.
I think
I didn't think I was terrible, so that's good.
I think the logic there is that if you want to make a comedy with Marion Cotillard, just get her drunk the night before.
Oh my God! I knew I shouldn't have said that. But that was a fact, actually. That was just to explain that I didn't get everything that I don't know if I had been like all clear, I would have understood more.
It was probably the megaphone. It was
yeah, probably.
Okay, we'll go here. Yeah.
Hi, I'm just kind of taking on from what you were just saying about watching yourself. You said you liked yourself in that film, so that's great. But I just wanted to know, what's your journey? Because you go into those roles and become another person to some extent, or another version of yourself. When you watch yourself, are you comfortable with watching yourself? Do you see yourself? Do you see the character you became? Because you've played it from the inside and then you're watching it from the outside. So I just wanted to know what it feels like.
Well, it depends on different things, actually. The first time I need to see my work. Because it's part of the experience. It's well, first of all, I respect the directors I work with so much, and I want to see the result, to share the experience entirely. Usually, the first time it's really hard because I will not watch the movie, but I will kind of judge myself, and I'm a very, very severe judge, which is something that I'm good with, being a very hard judge. And then the second time, I watched the movies twice, and the second time it's I can watch the movie. If it's really bad, I won't watch the second time. Because I'm not a masochist. But when I feel that it's good, I never think it's good the first time because I cannot watch the movie, as I told you. But this movie, 2 Days, One Night, it was really, really hard to watch for me, even the second time. And I think I thought about it. It was hard for me to watch it because of so many takes that we had done. I think it. This is the greatest experiences that I had as an actress doing this movie. The two directors gave me everything that I had ever wanted as an actress. But the process was so intense, maybe, that it's really hard for me to be part of an audience. And I guess, because I asked myself, why is it hard for you to see this movie? And I think it's because of this, because of the process of the shooting. But did I answer your question?
I more than answered it. Thank you for that.
Let's go to this further.
Hi, I just want to say that I love you. But anyways, how has the kind of rapid shifts between doing French cinema and American cinema affected you as an actress on a personal level or whatever way?
When I was a kid and I wanted to be an actress, my dream was to be kind of a Peter Sellers actor, and to go from a movie to another, and that people would not recognize me. So I wanted to do very, very different things and explore. And the fact that I've had the opportunity to explore more than my culture is so rich, and I'm so grateful to have the chance to explore being Polish, to explore being Italian, to explore being a Belgian girl from Seraing, to explore being a non-living person, like in the Nolans movie, which was an amazing experience too. This is everything that I had wanted, and even more than that.
And you do it brilliantly, so.
Thank you.
Let's go way in the back, the gentleman standing with his hand up.
Bonjour Marion.
Bonjour.
I'll speak English. So you said that in your early 20s you were questioning yourself. What guided you? What gave you the strength to keep on going as an actress?
When I was 20, I questioned myself. It was more questioning my strength and my patience, because I was working, but I wanted more, and for me it was kind of hard to accept that I had an ambition, because I was connecting ambition to a bad thing. Ambition was negative for me. And then I met some people who told me ambition is not negative if it's not against other people. And if you have ambition, you should let it be. And that's how things will come. So, and when I was 23, something like that, or 24, I think that was around that age. And I was working, but I was not working with, I was doing a lot of first directing movie, which was amazing and which was fine. I was kind of a little ashamed not to be entirely happy with what I had, because I had some friends who were actors and who were not working. So I was keeping this for myself, but that was a fact. I wanted bigger than life roles. I wanted to work with directors that had given me the desire to be an actress. And when I allowed myself to let my ambition be, that's when things started to come, and the big things that I wanted started to come. But questioning myself as what I do, I've been questioning myself for a few years, actually, because this is a weird job. And when you take a step back and you're like, so what you do is entering people's life, trying to be them, visiting weird places. And I started to think, why do I do that? And I started to think, and especially because I choose, as we discussed before, heavy stuff. And it's part of my life. And when I enter an experience, an adventure, it becomes all my life. And sometimes it's super heavy. And I was thinking, why do you do this? Why? And I started questioning it as, too much. And it created something inside of me which was, this is absolutely useless. And then I met this guy and he said, do you like to watch movies? And I said, yes, I love to watch movies. And he said, why? And I'm like, because it brings emotions, because it brings sometimes question, because I live things in a very different way than when I live my life. And he said, so what do you feel when you question yourself? What do you feel when you cry in front of the movie, or when you laugh, or when... And I said, I feel alive. And he said, well, this is not fucking useless. So, and, but I think being an actor is having a lot of questions. So now I accept it.
It does beg the question in a way, because all this talk about disappearing into roles and doing a lot of research and all of that, Is there a part, or maybe more than one, that you've played that you felt were very close to who you are in real life, where maybe you were drawing particularly on yourself, or when you looked at the film, you saw yourself on the screen?
Yeah, there is one, and it's not my favorite thing. I like to be very, very far from myself. Exploring myself, I do it. I work on myself. I question myself almost every day. I clean myself from all the things that we all get in life, all the suitcases full of good things and bad things. Doing this in a movie is, I'm not interested in doing this in a movie. And I did it once, it was Little White Lies. What I love to do when I prepare a movie is investigate in the life of the person, understand this person, find the physicality of this person, find a new voice, a new way to breathe, to walk, to do everything, to behave. And when I started working on Little White Lies on this character, I did all my best to go to find something that was different from me, to find a new voice. What I do each time I prepare a character. And that was not working, and the only thing that was working is just to have my voice, have my behavior, and that was really weird. And this is a movie that is really hard to watch for me, because especially that she's not very centered. She's kind of disturbed, and sometimes she's in a position where she's not very comfortable. And so I saw myself being not comfortable, when you never see yourself not being comfortable. I mean, maybe the people of reality TV who watch themselves being not comfortable, but in real life, nobody,
right.
You don't have a picture of yourself. And I saw this, and that was super hard to watch, because I saw myself and I was like, I don't want to see this. So yeah, I'd rather go
The other way.
The other way.
We have time for a few more. Go to this gentleman towards the back with the glasses.
Hi.
Hi.
You mentioned Peter Sellers, but what actresses, current or from the past, do you like to watch?
So many. From the past, you said? My favorites are not especially from the past, but I love Toni Collette. I think she's a genius actress. When I saw The Hours, I didn't recognize her. I was, for me, this disappearing into a character and for people not recognizing you is like an achievement. So yeah, Toni Collette, I love. I mean, of course, Meryl Streep. I mean, she's the master. So I love, when I was a kid, I loved Stéphane Audran, who's a French actress. I don't know if you know her, but I also loved Greta Garbo, who was Greta Garbo most of the time, but and well, and today, I mean, today there are so many amazing actors. Jennifer Lawrence is a prodigy. In France, we have, as I said before, a lot of amazing young French actresses, like Léa Seydoux, you might have heard of her, who's a prodigy. I mean, and Adele Exarchopoulos, who was in the Blue is the Warm Color. I've always been inspired by actors and actors from the past, and I'm always very moved when a newcomer comes in the picture and gives amazing things. And at a very young age, it's even more moving because, I mean, when I saw Jennifer Lawrence for the first time, it was
Winter's Bone.
what can you say? I mean, so I'm inspired by a lot of people.
Right here.
I'm Australian, so I also love Toni Collette. So, but I'm from the same town in Australia as Justin Kurzel, who's directing Macbeth. Yeah. For someone like him, who's sort of a relatively new director in the world of cinema, how do you approach those sorts of working situations in comparison to working with people like Chris Nolan and the Dardenne brothers, who have like quite an extensive resume and experience?
When they offered me the role, I talked to Justin on the phone. I had watched his first movie, Snowtown Murders. And I saw that he worked with actors, and they were non-actors, or with a very little experience. And what he did with these actors is so amazing that you know right away that he's a smart and connected person. And then I talked with him about Lady M, and his vision and the way he talked about his idea of this very famous play. I trusted him right away, and I jumped on the boat knowing that he had something special, and it was proved on set.
This young woman in the glasses.
Hi, Marion.
Hi.
I love your work, by the way. I just wanted to know if you can talk a little bit about your experience working with Woody Allen.
Wow. That was a tough experience for me, actually, because it took me a long time to actually believe that I was on set with Woody Allen. Because, as I said before, I love to work a lot before a movie, and I met Woody Allen 5 days before we started shooting, and we didn't really exchange things. We discussed a little bit about his vision of the character, but I had very few information. And then being on a set with him, I was so scared that I wouldn't be good enough, that it kind of it took me a long time to actually enter the story. So that's not one of my favorite. I love the movie, but I think I didn't do a very good job in terms of, it's okay, but I don't like okay. And even if I'm a very hard judge and I will never think it's really good, I know when I could have done better. But I loved the guy, but it was, I don't know, this. I was always scared that he wouldn't get what he wanted because we had talked so little, you know, and I think that I might have misunderstood what he wanted at the beginning, and I knew that he was not very happy, which devastated me. And so yeah, I felt very uncomfortable. He knows everything about it, so I can talk because after all we talked up this. That was not very easy for him either, to be in front of an actress who was like a rabbit in the light. But in the end, I mean, I'm very happy that I worked with him, and but I'm kind of, there's a little deception that I could have done better.
I think we have to stop there for time, but I want to thank so much Marion Cotillard for sharing this hour with us.